I'm Joe Chile. You can listen to me mornings on the Big Weck. Joining us today on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise is Jonathan McDonald from BAM Acupuncture. Jonathan, good to see you again.
Yeah, how you doing, Joe?
I'm doing very well. You know, one of the things that people asked me the last time that you were on, and I can kind of understand this, you know, when you're talking about the Eastern culture and you're talking about acupuncture, they say, you know, I don't know, it seems kind of like, you know, I'm going out on a limb here. Is it hocus pocus? Is it whatever? And you were interesting in when you told me, you know, when we talked about this thing before, that everybody is skeptical at some point, right? You know, until you get a little more educated on it.
Yeah, I remember telling you, like, I was there at one point, right? Like, when I started my working life, I was working in physical therapy gyms. So I was kind of in the same place, like, you know, every now and then you'd hear a patient that had an experience like, oh yeah, they stuck a needle here and this is better. It's like hippie stuff, you know? But you know, and it was really one particular patient where we were working on her and we weren't getting the results. And she decided to add that to her treatment plan, and like the difference in her was amazing. And I think that's when, and it seemed magical to me, you know, back then. But here I am 20 years later, I've been doing this for so long, it loses a lot of it's not magic, you know, it makes sense and it's logical. But I think we were talking before, I told you every now and then you get a little bit of that in clinic. You know, you
go, wow, wow, right?
Yeah, like holy cow, like that even surprises me. Recently I had this woman that I was treating, she had head pain for 20 years. She woke up with a headache one day, or not 20 years, 2 years. Woke up with a headache one day and had this headache for 2 years, just wouldn't go away, had tried all these different things. I think it was her second or third treatment. You know, I'm putting the needles in and I put a needle in and she's like, I thought something was wrong, you know? But she said, no, like it's gone. Like, I don't even remember what this felt like. You know, so like that's kind of like a magical moment. Like I'm not expecting that kind of reaction. But no, you know, it makes sense and it's consistent, the results you get. So I understand where people are coming from because it's kind of from like the Far East and it's a foreign type of medicine, but it works and it is very logical to me.
You know, we talk about neuropathy and things like this, you know, back pain. What about something, you know, I hear people say, oh, I've got a migraine. I mean, it's something they don't get all the time, every once in a while. I got a migraine, I can't get out of bed. I've got to close the windows because the light coming in is so bad, it makes me ill. Can acupuncture work for something like migraines?
That's one of my areas of specialty. I treat a lot of head pain. I'm going to be honest, the occasional migraine's kind of boring to me. I mean, you could treat that. At BAM, I consider us more of like the detectives of the medical world. You know, we like to take the cases that have other specialties maybe scratching their head a little bit. So that kind of excites me. So, you know, yes, I have treated tons of migraines over the course of my career. But today we really specialize in people that have these chronic conditions that, you know, they've gone through the merry-go-round of medical treatments and they're starting to lose hope. That's really where I think the void that we can fill is we can take on those challenging conditions. The way we do that is we take this ancient medicine, you know, that is acupuncture that's been utilized in the East for thousands of years, and we're gonna seamlessly blend in some more modern integrative techniques. And that really allows us to treat some of these and address some of these challenging problems that people are suffering from.
You know, one of the things that concerns me is, you know, we're in a, you know, like a pill technology, you know, the instant gratification. I want to take something, make me feel better. I mean, people would say, I don't want to go to the doctors and I don't want to pay a doctor in the event he says, well, this, you know, you can't take a medicine for this. You know, you got to wait for it to go away on its own. But when you hear the disclaimers, and by disclaimers, I mean, you know, all the things that could happen to you when you take these pills or medicines, it really, it turns you off. I mean, you know, you say, I want to avoid this. Now, I think you've told me before, if there's something that's catastrophic, there's room for both, right? You know, but you don't have to go to the extreme just to begin with.
Right. I think you're exactly right. You know, I don't want to get up here and sound like I'm bashing Western medicine at all. You know, I think some of the things that we're able to accomplish with modern medicine, life-saving things, you know, like what we're doing with cancer and, you know, heart disease and all these like life-threatening conditions is amazing. But I do think, you know, when you're talking about medications and treating chronic conditions, that's where the toolkit is a little empty. We could do these amazing life-saving things with medicines, but often that comes at a cost, like you're talking about, like the side effects. That is a huge thing when patients come into my office. Like I said, they've kind of feel like they're on a roller coaster, a merry-go-round of medical treatments. This doesn't work, and so they've tried this pill, and it doesn't really help, but man, it makes me feel lousy. So then, okay, then it's off to this specialist. Well, they can't help me, so let's go to this specialist. They're going to give me a different medication. It's kind of the same thing.
You said something that was, and we've only got a minute left, but you said something that I think that was very important and struck me, is that some people will just say, I just have to live with this. Your phrase was, we kind of give you your life back. We help you get your lives back. That made a lot of sense to me, and that was very important. What's the first step in our last 30 seconds or so here?
So starting is easier than saying acupuncture 5 times fast.
Good.
I know you struggle with that sometimes.
Acupuncture.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Acupuncture, pickle pepper. So, but all you have to do is call our office. Call us at 716-632-2207. You're going to talk to either a receptionist or a patient care coordinator. A patient care coordinator is going to set you up with a consultation. When you come in for that consultation, I'll have done a little homework and read your paperwork ahead of time. But I really want to sit down with you, put on my Sherlock Holmes hat, really figure out what's causing your problem, what your expectations are for treatment. If I determine you're a good candidate for acupuncture, at that point I'm going to spell out a real clear path for you. Like this is what it's going to take, this is what you can expect. 8 out of 10 times that is the situation when people come in for a consultation. There certainly are things. I'm not a superhero. I am human. Some things are too progressed or just aren't in my repertoire, and I'm going to let you know. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. But most of the time, even if you've been through the gambit of different medical specialists, we can help you get your lives back on track.
That's great. Sherlock Holmes has great. Drop the pipe. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture by calling 716-632-2207 or go to BAMAcupuncture.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the following.